All right. So what we did last time was, can anybody remind us what we did actually? How will you summarize what we did last time? How to remove, that means we completed the data cleaning, right? Then after that, we started modeling reports with different visuals. I think so far so good. We have mastered how to use a table visual and the clustered, let me refer to them as graphical what? Visuals, all these set of visuals. So our assignments in this section is very simple. If we are fast with the formatting, I start another main topic. Let me just complete model formatting, right? Models / dashboards formatting. Model / dashboard formatting. Model / dashboard formatting. Right, so how can we define the term formatting? That's right, formatting of models or reports in Power BI. Formatting of models or reports in Power BI could be described as the process of improving the appearance of the data within the dashboard, out of improving the appearance of the data within the dashboard. Note, this is to make your dashboard or your analysis dashboard. This is to make your analysis dashboard users friendly. Users friendly. So why should I format my Power BI reports? Why should I improve the appearance of the reports I have within my dashboard? The answer is what I just told you now, which is what? To make your report what? User friendly. Now let's quickly dive into it. So we have approximately 2 reports here. We have a tabular report that is presenting certain insights. Then we also have this graphical report, which is helping us to easily identify trend, pattern, and what? Outliers. So the 2 major reports will be focusing on formatting will be this and this. So I believe that the same skill set you need to improve this is required for this. So let me start with table. So you write how to format table visual. Formatting table visual. So we are starting with the table. Note, when formatting any of the Power BI visual, visuals, always understand that there are different commands for formatting the content of the visuals. always understand that there are different commands for formatting the content of the visual and the visual itself or themselves. I think always understand that there are different commands for formatting the visual contents and the visuals themselves. So remember, I explained to us that these visuals are models, right? They are like containers which we use as data analysts to present our insights, our findings, what we have been able to drill or to draw from the data set. We are presenting them through these visuals. That is exactly what we are doing. Now, here, we have been able to draw some insight from this staff data. We are looking at the report. You will notice that they are not visible enough, right? They are not colorful enough. They are not designed enough. So once you are done creating all your visuals, then you can now start formatting them one after the other in order to give the users good experience. And that is what we are doing now. So, like I said, if you click on this, clicking on this visual that you want to format as your steps. Number one, select the table visual. Or let's generalize it. Select the visual to format, whether it's a table or not. You need to start by selecting it. Select the visual to format. So in this case, I've selected my table visual. Now I want us to look at it. You can see this frame, right? Which means that it's the container itself that is holding this value. That is why I said anytime you are formatting your visual, always know that there are different commands for formatting the contents from the one for formatting the frame or the container itself. So once you have selected the visual, the next step, you come to this section where you have build visual. The next icon, all these things, they are under this, under add data to visual. Now you switch from this to this, which says format your visual. So that should be your second step. Your second step should be click on format visual. Click on format visual. So the moment you click on format visual, Oh, where did I stop? Click on what? Click on Format Visual. Now, look up. The moment you click on it, you can see we have the two category of functions that I mentioned. We have some under what? Visuals. Are you looking at the screen, please? So this is what came out after selecting this command. So we have visual. Then we have general. So this is actually what I was talking about. Any visual you select will give you these two sets of functions. So it is now left for you to know the functions under visual. What are they for? Because all of them are for formatting. It's either they are formatting the contents of the visual or formatting the visual itself. So all the set of functions you have under visual, they are for formatting the content. The ones you have under general for formatting what? The container itself. So let me start from here. So there are a lot of them. It's not left for you to sit down and play with each of them. The good thing about them is that when you activate one, you will see the instant application on your report. And you can as well deactivate it if you don't like it. Because the goal is to make sure that whatever you have here is well designed. And please don't use more than 2 colors. If you want to have a professional dashboard, don't use more than 2 colors. Just like we have now, we have blue and what? This light blue. So you can choose the color of this text. It's either they take this one or they take this light blue. Instead of you coloring them red, green, everywhere, it does not show that you are a professional. So let me start playing around some of them. I want to start with layout and style. Nobody should operate. Just make sure that you are. Yes? No, I'm talking about, yes, of course. Yeah, this is for the dashboard. No. Yes, for the dashboard, not general reporting, please. What I'm saying is that your dashboard, so that it can be communicated, don't use too many colors. Just have unique. Sometimes people will use only one color because black and white, they are different. They are not part of the color you are counting. So now you come to layout, and I want to start with the set of functions under layout and style presets. So once you click here, you will see different options. So let me click here because this has been programmed on what? Default. So let's say I don't want to use this. I want to use this. Once you click, you put your eye on the table. Did you notice any different? Well, that is how you can actually, on your own, test run all of this. So now I can come here and check, okay, let me see this alternative row. You can see the option now. That has distinguished your headers from the what? The record automatically. So there are times you can just depend on this. Once you have taken your time to observe them and know what they represent, it will make your work faster. So if you want to go back to the default, fine. Now, the next thing is the layout, because that particular channel I follow contains both what? Function for formatting the layout and what? The styling the already made. That is the preset. So now I go to under layout, we have outline and tabular. So if I click on outline, you can see the difference also. So anytime you select any of these functions, you watch out for the what? The changes. So let me go back to, we have just 3 options here. It's either what? Compact, or you use, that is not the place. It's either compact or outline or tabular. So let me try tabular. So that is all about this set. So I can collapse it back and then exploit the other options under grid. Definitely grid, we're talking about lines, right? And sometimes your grid will make the values what? To be separated and to stand out. So, but unfortunately, you can see that under the grid, we have horizontal grid and what? Vertical grid. And they are both turned off by default. So it is now left for you to turn it on first
before you can use the features under them. Most of them, you need them turned off. All you need is just to turn it on and then exploit the functions under it. So let me pick my color here. You can see the grid line now, the horizontal lines are now showing. Then the thickness of the lines, you can see I'm also what? Improving it here. All of this is to make sure that your report is, is visible. Then if I also want to establish the vertical, I'll do the same. So vertical grid, turn it on, and then also expand it to see the features under it. So let me start with color. Now remember the set of colors we are working with. The only two colors that we introduce, which are known to be basic color, will be black and white. So like this one, I'm still using black now. I will have also tried using what? This color. Let me go back because you have to do a lot of trial by error at times to get what you want. Now on this line now, in order to align with other one, I will check. You can see that it's more cooler like this instead of that black. That black is like distracting, it's making everything to look more or too shouting. So now I'll stay on that color so that this color will balance this color. You have to be asking yourself some questions. Whenever you use any color, one question you must always ask yourself is that this color, which other color is it balancing or complementing? If you discover that use a color and it's not balancing any other color, please don't use it. It means you are not calculating your colors very well. So now I want to use this. Then the vertical, I will use the same color. I will use the same color for vertical and then also work on the thickness of it. Let me see. So you can see that the vertical here is actually applied to only the vertical line on the header. I don't know if you notice what is happening as I was increasing the thickness. It's only from here to here that's increasing. It's not spreading across. So which means that there's another function that is responsible for those ones. As far as this one is concerned, this very one that is affecting, that is the one it's designed for. So I'll proceed to border, expand border. Then you specify, you can see that by default, the model or the visual gave us only how many border line. We don't have the left border line. We don't have the top border line. We don't have the right border line. It only gave us what? This, the horizontal is what? The top and what? Bottom. Now I can come and say what? All, or I can turn them on individually. So you can see that I have this one now. You can turn this one on, turn this one on, then turn this one on. So you now have the complete what? Table borders. So the choice is yours. Then you can also work on the thickness. So you can see this is the one that is responsible for what? The thickness of the ones within, that is the main border. The main border. Then options. This could be some other things you need, like row padding. Now, what do we mean by padding? Padding is very important to observe it because padding gives space. Look at this audit. It's almost touching the border lines around it, right? In order to create some space on the inside, not from the outside, it's called padding. So let me click here now and see what happens. You can see the spacing now. So there's now enough space for you to be able to view the values very well. Then global fonts. You want to increase the what? The font size. So you can see that I increase my frame. Now, supposing the frame is like this and you are increasing the font size, what will happen is that it will be increasing and be what? Wrapping inside the box. So that is why the ideal thing to do is to what? Create space for the increment. And then before you start what? Increasing. So that the table itself will what? Will have space to be empty. That is if you want it that way. Then I can take this one up. So when you have this kind of issue, you have more than, you can see we are not seeing some. It's not advisable to use a kind of a presentation. Okay, with this way now, the way I scroll up now, at least I'm seeing everything. So it's still okay. This side is okay. There's no point of me what? Increasing it what? Further. Because if I do, some things what? Be going in. You can't see all of them? Okay, good. That's exactly what I was saying now. So that means what? There's need for me to what? To reduce it. Let's stay on this view so I can view all the variables. Now, that is for that category. Now, blank rows. In case you have some blank what? Rows. Say, focus. I'll give us time to work through. In case you have some blank rows and you also want to format it, you turn it on. You can see that it added what happened here, whether you have blank rows, that it added what? Blank what? Row in between, just to make it what? Spacious. Good. Now I can turn it off if I don't want it. So I think I prefer this one. Which one do you prefer? Good. Now you now go to the value. Now you want to focus on what? The numbers, the values. Now the values, I'll start by bolding them first. And unfortunately, the values here, they are only reflecting on the value of the header, because this is not the value. These are headers. These are rows headers. That is why when I'm working on value, it's not affecting this. So his own command probably is there. Now, I can also choose the handwriting. If there's any reason I want to increase the size of the value, I can as well do the same. Then for the color, text color, do I want to maintain that black? If there's any reason why I want to change to this, if I feel it will complement other color better, fine. But if it doesn't, then I go back to the black. So you have to be doing your calculation. The background color of those alternative rows. Alternative rows. So I can have this design, which is good. Then alternative text color, those ones that are not selected with this background color, their own color. So let's say I want to use this. That is if at the end of the day, if it blends with other color. If it doesn't, I'll fall back to the default. Then this very one that you just gave this color now, their background color is what? Alternative background color. So you can choose, let's say what? Black for this one. And then change this one to what? White. So that I will stay within what? The set of colors I want to use. So it depends on you. Now, we also have some options here. Options like column what? Headers. Column header, bold. You want to also increase it. The text color of this. So once you select anyone, you will know which aspect of your visual is referencing. The background color of that section, if I want anyone that is better. Now, the alignment, the placement within the cell. The alignment, you want to shift it to the center or to the left. Title alignment, you have this. Header alignment, you have this. Row headers, so that you can start working on this one now. Row headers. Now, it depends on the visual you are using. There are some visual you select now, you don't have access to all this. So you are seeing all these things because you are on table. So now for the row header, let's say I want to bold, and then I want to maintain that size, the color. I want to also maintain the black, the white. Then the background color, I want to maintain that black, not I change. Then the column subtotal, which is this. So this is one that will actually modify that word, subtotal. So I will expand it since it's on. So subtotal, which is this one. The value of it, bold it, change the color to white so that it can also be visible. You don't have subtotal there. Okay. So once you click and you are not seeing the outcome on the expected test, you know that is not the right one for it. So it could be for another one. So let's check column grand total, row what? Grand total. One of these words, we settle this young man that is remaining. So let's check here. Column subtotal. Let me just increase and see the column. Okay. Row grand total. Okay, so this is where you control that very one. So let's give it white, so that it can also be visible. Then specify column. Maybe here you have some, maybe you are doing a kind of multiple analysis. You know, the one we have done so far is just one criteria, which is department. So you can also add maybe gender, the way we are doing it in pivot table in a cell. So where you want to specify the particular column, your set of formatting should concentrate on. That is where, but right now we have just one word, header there. So the value under it, then the cell elements, in case you want to make use of this, there are some based on the model you are working with, might not be useful. There are a whole lot of them, image size, where you have image, but you don't have all this. So I've played with all this, which means that you can actually play around them. Then the next one, which is the last one before I allow us to start formatting our table, is the general features, the one that will be focusing on the what? The model itself. So under general, we have properties. Under property, that's where you can define the width. So the width of this and the height of this model is this. You want to increase it, instead of you doing it here manually. You can see as I increase it now, you see like affected what? That particular section. So now the positioning of it, horizontally and what? Vertically. Then the padding also, want to set that. Then the title, in case you want to add title, expand it. Maybe you want to bring in another description. Sometimes we use this title to actually define our analysis question directly on top of what? The model you are using. So let's say here we analyze what? Departments. You can see that it's adding it to what? To the top of that table. So for those of us that will use this for project defense, you need to give a brief question you are asking on top of the what? The model you are using through this title. But I don't need it now because yes, looking at this and this, I already know what's happening. Now, the header, so these are some preset header that you can use if you feel like using them, alignment of them. Then under effect, that is where I need something good. That is what? The background of the entire, can you see it now? The background of the entire model can be changed under what? Effect. So in case you also want to make the visual border, visible, you can also walk around. In case you want to make this particular one to stand out from other by applying shadow. So you just turn it on, and then choose your shadow color. So all this is just to make it stand out. Then how do you want to place the shadow? Inside or outside? Then data formatting, header icons. So all these, there are things you can actually play with on your own, in as much when you select one, you see the impact of it, if it is applicable on the visual you are working with. So I'll play around what? The basic table formatting command. So you have table. If you don't have table, make sure you create table. And then not less than 2 different tables and format them. So that is your classwork before we proceed to, once we have done that, I will now look at how to format graph. You are not formatting graph. I will show us how to do that. What we are focusing on right now is just the table. All the tables you have in your dashboard, make sure you format them. Yeah, just the table. Then I will come back and show us how to format a graph. I'll start now. All right, so let's look at so there are 2 things I'm going to style, and then we will end the class there. The 2 things I want to add is we'll add the graph and then the background itself. Because there are times that after you have styled all the visuals and their contents, you now discover that the background is actually working against them. Try all the color you can do, but the background being white is not allowing those colors to be visible. So in that case, you must know how to also manipulate the background. You can even download image from Google and use it as this background instead of just this
blank white background. Well, let's start with the graph.
So the same process, just select the visual, which is the graph, styling
the graphical visual now, which you are writing. So just select it and then switch from visual to format your visual also. Please, let's stay on the screen first so that we can cover what I want to cover.
So you select the graph and then click on it. Now you see what I was telling us the other time. The visual in focus determines what you see when you switch from visual to what? To format. Now look at the list of functions you have here now. Now let me, because I'm on table. Now let me switch from table to graph now. You see that changes happen now. You now have what? as because of the nature, the structure of that visual. So all these visual you are seeing here that we are working on, all of them have their own peculiar what? Formatting functions or methods. So for the as-is, for the as-is, let's start by defining the color. You can see it now, the write-up color on the as-is. Then the size, they are not also visible. So let me what? Increase them a little. Then the maximum height. If you adjust this now, you notice what? It change. I can increase it here so that you can see.
That is talking about what? The height you can get of the bars.
Then title, you want to also add title. Fine, just like the way we did for table. Your title text, your style, show title only. We have only one option there. The handwriting, I want to change it. You can see this is the title you are working on now. Then you want to change the color. The layout, the minimum category width. So you can also increase it. That is the layout itself. So once you click on any of these features and it's not, affecting your requirement, that what that particular one does not match this particular, is part of the command you find under graph visual. Now let's go to y-axis. Y-axis we have minimum. So let's work with. Can you see it now? So this one is reflecting on it. The maximum, I can also set my maximum. You can see it now. Everything is no longer, presentable. So I prefer that one that was here, which is what was there before? I think it's 1, have you? What was here? Automatic. Okay. So let me you just delete the value because that option is not there for you to select. Just delete the value from there and then click outside to return it. Then the values, let's improve the value also. So these are the value you are working on now. So let's also make sure that the size is equivalent to the size of the s-axis. Leave it. The color, let's also use full black. And then the display units, whether you want them to be in thousands or what, in millions. So we can also change it here. So I prefer this is in thousands. So let's put them in millions. Because the values are within millions. If you put billion, then that will be 0, 0. Now the decimal place, that is if you are using you can also choose your decimal unit. You can see it now, maybe you want to reflect it, or you use 0 decimal units. Then the axis. Now, the grid line, these ones are not active based on the type of graph we are using. The grid line, of course, the vertical lines. So I would like the lines to be more obvious. You can see it now, you are seeing the line more. You can also set the transparent, but I don't want that. You can choose the type of line you want to use, either solid line. You can see that they are now what? Solid line or dotted line, depending on the one that will make the graph to stand out. You can also work on the thickness of those lines, if that is better for you. Then the zoom slider is just like a meter that can help you to always what? View everything very well. Maybe when they are too packed, and you just want to like open them up so that you can see some of the what the bars better. Then the axis slide label. So let me turn it on. Let's see what we have here. Slide to tip. Then column. The column now, the color of the columns. Now, you know, there are times that the color you have as in by default, let's assume that the way it came out with this particular color by default, and the color you are using here, they actually what off from this. So how do you not change it in order to what? To align with that color. And you can change it here. If you are working with pie charts, you see that what you can change each of the what the sectors. So depending on the graph here, there are some graphs that when you come here, this one will not have its own different color channel where you can change only this one. Different, you're like I said. But depend on the one you are using and what is available for you to manipulate it. That is why you take your time to walk through all the features that are under. So this one is just to activate the borderline on the bars. And then in case you want to transparent, you want to determine, you want to also work on the thickness. Then on the layouts, if there's anything here that's applicable, then data label might be very important, but let's say it's telling us error here. So that data label is we have the horizontal label, we have the position, we have outflow. What I thought it to give to us is to write this value on top of the bars. So let's keep going, because that one is also very important. That one is also very important, but let me see if I have it on this. So details, let me see the option under detail. Most of these don't have their representative there. Then the background of it's not also applicable to the that they are not reflected. Then plot area background. Let's say you want to browse an image. Maybe you download all these analytics picture and you want to use it as a background. Once you click here, it will take you to your system storage. So I will just pick an image just to illustrate it. So let's say I want to use this, provided, and you can see it now. Then the image fitting, this is normal. You can say what? Fill, so that it can cover the whole of what? That graph area if you want it. So let me go back to normal, and then let me remove it. I don't want it. So the last thing I want to format is the canvas. So for you to format the canvas, okay, you are not following. For you to format the canvas, it's just for you to click on it, not on any report, then and also select what? The same feature. Hope you understand what I did now. You select the background itself, not any of this. Yes, click on anywhere, not on any of the reports. Then I'll switch to what? To the format. So these are the features. So under page information, this is the dashboard. Then there are also canvas background. You can choose this. Then you can choose image as the background. Now, the one that will cover everything should be under wallpaper. Under wallpaper. So if I choose a color here now to cover it, wallpaper. Then, in case you want to also use that image as your wallpaper, I have to what? Remove this very one for applying this. So under canvas size, you can choose this different size. You can see this is one size. Which one was there as default? So in case I want to go back, I think it was this one, right? So this ratio. Okay, so another shortcut you can use to work on the canvas is for you to go to view. From view, I believe I must have been here before. From view, you have some templates, some defaults background, and that the implication of that is that it will apply all the preset style to both your content and whatever you have in the dashboard. So let me choose this one. There are times that somebody can just create this report and just format it with any of these presets. You can choose something like this. So let me click here and apply any of them. Okay, so you can just play around them. I think I should be going back to the one I have there. So any question? Okay.
You have like two graphs. Let's just say table graph, for example. You have multiple table graphs. Your maximum, can you copy that format to the rest of them?
Want to copy it?
Yeah, like not copy the format, not the setting, the format. Can you copy it to?
Yes, yes. I think I wasn't out this year. Wasn't on your class? Okay. Okay. Now, you see, like the design now. The design that you have here now. Let's say you want to apply it to this. You just click on that very table. Then you go to home. You select format what? Painter. Then you go and select the whole of that table. You can target it, click on the borderline to apply it. You can see it now. So you can take your time to format one and just get it for others. So we stop here.